Picture books actually have really interesting differences in terms of how the narrative functions. Whether a third-person narrative is used, whether it's a first-person narrative, whether it uses direct discourse or indirect discourse or even free indirect discourse, all sorts of different ways in which generally the function is to create variations in the level of control which is imposed over the reading process. If you have a free direct discourse, or if you have a first person discourse, then effectively you're taking away some kind of central mediatory role. If you have a narrator, then there is this controlling presence. There is this kind of overarching arbiter who seems to know everything about the story already, knows what all the characters are feeling, knows how the story is going to end even. And in some sense that provides a kind of a reassurance to the reader that there is something which is in control of things. Often if you're using first person or free forms of discourse, you lose that sense of a kind of a control, that sense that everything is actually all going to be all right, and it adds a greater sense of immediacy to it. So we're going to look at different examples of how picture books use those kind of different forms of narrative to vary relations between the child and the control of the story itself. And again, think about which particular kinds of narrative, which particular kinds of discourse you're going to want in your own story, and in particular, for what reason. There should be a reason for the things that you do in the story, not just because you have a great idea, but because it relates to what it is that you want to try to communicate. That's what we're going to be looking at in this class.